Waterfall, the CCW podcast.
Hello and welcome to Waterfall, the water savings podcast brought to you by CCW. That's the Consumer Council for Water. We are all about saving water, saving money, protecting the environment and combating climate change. Now, regular listeners to Waterfall will know that Karen usually joins us, but unfortunately she cannot be here today. But we do have Cath Jones on today's episode. Some of you might remember Cath from our episode on drought plans, where she was our roving reporter. So it's absolutely brilliant to have Cath back. Now, we have a really exciting episode here today because we are visiting Havant Thicket, which is the site of a brand new reservoir on the south coast of England. Now, this is the first new reservoir to be built in England and Wales in over 30 years, and it's got widespread support from the local community. So we'll be finding out just how Portsmouth Water have managed to get such support. Now, before we get into that, I just want to say a big hello to our new listeners in Iran. Waterfall has listeners in over 25 countries, so it was brilliant to see our first ever listeners from Iran. Now, wherever you live, you can get in touch with the show. We have an email address. It is podcast@ccwater.org.uk. We also have an Instagram feed, and the address there is Waterfall Podcast. So please do check us out and get in touch. Today, we are on the south coast near Portsmouth with the team from Portsmouth Water who are building the new reservoir at Havant Thicket. Now, there's 4 of them from Portsmouth Water and there's 2 of us. So we are going for a walk around the reservoir. We do split up into 2 groups. So what you're going to hear are the results of those conversations that we've had with the team from Portsmouth, and you're going to hear the best bits of those. So I think it's time to bring on the guests.
What would you like Waterfall to cover next? Send your water-saving topics to podcast@ccwater.org.uk.
So we're here, we've got the guests here. This is a record for the podcast. 4 guests, that's unbelievable. So it's a big hello to, let's see, where do we start? Let's start, we've got May. Hello, May.
Hello.
We've got Eleanor.
Hi.
We've got Liz.
Hello, everyone.
And we've got Rory.
Hi,
Rory, now from what I gather, you're in charge.
I'm the project director for the Reservoir project. We've got a great talented team here.
Havant Thicket, this is a site of a new reservoir. That's quite unusual that we've got a new reservoir. Why is this one needed?
Well, this is an environmentally led reservoir. So this has been created to protect globally rare chalk streams that exist in Hampshire. Southern Water agreed a few years ago to reduce the amount of water it takes from those chalk streams to protect the wildlife that flourishes and thrives there. Now, Portsmouth Water, we're in a really lucky situation because we've got lots of freshwater springs here in Havant. In fact, we've got the largest freshwater springs in Europe, which we use to supply our customers. And in the winter, we've got a surplus of water that flows straight out to sea. So we've got a great opportunity to capture that water in a reservoir and then supply it to feed Southern Water's customers during times of drought and the summer, and by doing so protect those chalk streams.
Hi, you're good, because one of my questions was, what river is going to be feeding into this reservoir? But it's springs.
It's not fed by reservoir, so it's actually these springs which supply water, and we're going to pump it up through a short pipeline and then store it here in the reservoir.
So one of the things we're always banging on about on Waterfall is use less water. So you're building a reservoir. Can you just tell people to use less water?
Yeah, it's a really good challenge. And water companies everywhere are working towards a target to reduce loss of water through leakage, for example, by 50% by 2050 compared with 2017 levels, and also working with customers to make sure they use water more efficiently and to reduce water use. But that's not going to be enough if we're going to protect these globally rare chalk streams. The southeast has water challenges with supply. We've got population growth. We've got climate change, and so we need to do more to create new and sustainable source of water if we're going to keep up with demand and protect those environments.
So the message there is reducing the amount you use is part of the solution, but isn't going to be enough.
It's all part of a big portfolio of work that's going to make sure we've got resilient and sustainable water supplies for decades to come.
CCW, passionate about championing the best interests of everyone who uses water, now and in the future.
So I've formed a splinter group over here. We've got May and Eleanor here. Now, May, you are doing work experience, right, for Portsmouth Water?
Yeah, I am, for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So you're how far into your 2 weeks?
This is my last day.
All right, so you get to go in the great outdoors. Have they let you outside any other days?
Yes, one day last week I went onto site with Jonathan and looked around. It was more about the environmental works. Caroline was there as well. So
Did you pick Portsmouth Water, or did you get given Portsmouth Water to do?
so it was sort of a bit of both. So I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do, and my mum actually works at Portsmouth Water, so she said, how about I try and find you a place with the Havant Thicket Reservoir? And I was like, oh yeah, that would be a good idea, because I wanted to learn a bit more about environmental works and how it's actually going to work.
And when you say environmental works, what do you mean by that? Just for...
So how it's going to affect wildlife and the community as a whole, because obviously they have to chop down lots of trees and things, and lots of wildlife will get disrupted. So I just wanted to learn how they're going to help protect the wildlife that they're disrupting.
Now you got me interested, because I want to know how they're going to do that. Do you know how they're going to do that?
Yes, so with things like little lake things, they have lots of vertebrates in there, so they've got a team that go out and sieve out these tiny little creatures, and then they move them to a different place and put them in lakes. So when they get rid of these little lake things they have, no animals will be in there that are going to get disrupted.
So these are little lake things, or things that are already here that when they construct the reservoir, they're going to have to
they're going to have to get rid of. So
got you.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a lot of work for the Portsmouth Water team.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing the new reservoir is going to be really great for wildlife, right? Because it's going to be a new habitat.
Yeah, so there will be lots of spaces for the wildlife to home, I suppose. Yeah, and there's lots of places for them that they can go.
Now, I was on the internet yesterday having a look at your fly through of the new reservoir, and it had nice pictures of people sailing and all that kind of stuff. Is that still part of the plan, that there will be community involvement, or did I make that up? There will be people sailing on it. I'm sure I saw boats and people doing things on the reservoir.
So there'll be definitely lots of ways for the community to get involved once it's finished. So we're going to have.
Are there no boats?
It's not. Well, it's still we're still deciding exactly what the recreational facilities will be, but we're very conscious that we want it to be a sort of environmental haven with a new wetland, and we obviously want the community to be able to use the reservoir and to enjoy it, but it's just finding the right balance between the needs of the community and the needs of the wildlife as well.
Yeah, I mean, it looked great. I mean, on your fly through, and remarkably realistic. Is that a good video? Often these ones look really rubbish, like the people look awful, like stick people, but this actually looked really good. So I was really excited about that. But the most important thing was, it's going to be a cafe.
There will be some kind of cafe and visitor centre. Yes, yeah. So we're going to be building a new visitor centre, which will be very close to the wetlands, so people can come and they can have something to drink, and they can look over where all the birds are, and really see what a great new place it is.
Because that's the first question my kids always ask if we're going anywhere: is there a cafe? And yeah, so I've looked forward to coming back and seeing the cafe. Forget the reservoir, right? It's all about the cafe. Will there be swings?
There will definitely be some children's play area, and lots there for the local community.
So there's a lot of you've said the local community quite a few times, which is great that you're talking about people. And what's the view then of the locals of the new reservoir? Are people kind of saying, what are you doing that for? Or are people welcoming it? What's the score?
So I think it's I think most people do agree with it, and they think it's a really good idea, but you always get the odd one or two who just fully against it. But most people, I think it's a good idea. It's quite... A lot of people know about it because obviously social media and things like that. So yeah, I think a lot of people do agree with it, and I agree with it. I think it's a really good way to keep water for the future.
It's interesting that there does seem to be a difference in attitude here to this reservoir than, say, in South Oxfordshire, where there's proposals for a reservoir there, and the locals are very much against it. And in earlier editions of Waterfall, I think have already irritated the South Oxfordshire residents, so I think they've stopped listening. So I don't mind saying, why are South Oxfordshire against reservoirs, yet here people seem okay with it? I mean, or am I overgeneralising? Go on, Eleanor.
Well, I wouldn't like to speak on behalf of the residents of South Oxfordshire, but I can say that here we've put an awful lot of sort of time and energy into bringing the local community on board. So there was a local group who formed to put a stop to the reservoir a few years ago, and they called themselves Stop the Chop, and they were very against the work that we were doing. Yeah, because we have to
chopping down trees.
Chop down.
Do you see how slow I am now?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So that was their main concern. But we invited this group into the Portsmouth Water head office. And we talked through our plans with them and gave them the opportunity to sort of help to shape our plans and share their ideas with us. And they were great ideas. So they put forward the suggestion of relocating some of the trees on site. So that's physically digging up some of the trees that would otherwise have been removed and replanting them to create new habitats and new wildlife corridors around the site. And Portsmouth Water thought, yep, this is a great idea, we're very happy to take it forward. So we did, and we're working really closely with this group, and they actually changed their name to Havant Thicket for Nature. So they stopped opposing the reservoir.
They stopped stopping the chop.
They did, and they.
I mean, that's a bit of a mouthful for a new group.
It is. So we were very pleased to have them involved, and they do volunteering on site. So they've been helping to clear out areas of ragwort. So there's lots of ragwort growing where we've planted new trees. So they've all been out on site helping us to do some weeding there. And they come along to some of the groups that we hold. So we hold groups that the local community can come along to and share their ideas, and they're regulars at that as well. So I think that's a big part of the success of Havant Thicket Reservoir, is really engaging and listening to the community and acting on their suggestions and bringing them along with it.
It does sound too good to be true. I just want to call you out on this. So there's this group, they were against it. You've won them over through maybe giving them some tea and coffee at your headquarters. But persuading them that you're doing a good job, right? Were they the only resistors?
So we've, as May said, I mean, there are, you do find that there are little pockets of people throughout the community who wouldn't want the reservoir. But on the whole, it's a really positive scheme. I think the community can see that it's going to bring a lot of benefits to the area, and it's going to help protect, as Rory sort of has explained already, it's going to protect some of the rare chalk streams and rivers in Hampshire by providing a new source of water. So I don't think it's surprising that on the whole people are supportive of the scheme, because it's very positive.
Be sure to head back through the archives and check out all the past episodes of Waterfall.
It's not often that we see water companies working together on quite big projects, so has that been helpful or a hurdle? Has it changed customers' opinions?
Well, the south of England has a challenge in terms of water scarcity in any event. And so what we're finding is that water companies need to be working more in partnership to find local solutions for regional challenges. And so we're really excited to be working in partnership with Southern Water to share our water and make the whole network more resilient as a result.
Yeah, I think it's genuinely, Rory, it's a brilliant thing, isn't it? You've got, you are able to protect rivers for everybody. And your customers must actually be, not so much for the podcast, people must be thrilled to hear that they're going to get their local spring water as their water all the time.
No, you're absolutely right. So we did a lot of stakeholder consultation, and we developed plans for the reservoir with feedback from stakeholders, regulatory bodies, local interest groups and local residents. And by the time we put in our planning application, an independent survey suggested we had over 90% of people responding saying they were in favour of the scheme. And that's because of the amount of effort we've invested to understand people's opinions and use that to shape the design of the reservoir.
Yeah, 90%? That's huge.
Yeah, well, it was an award-winning stakeholder consultation exercise.
Oh my
more
goodness.
challenging because we had to do it during the middle of COVID. So the point where we had to do consultation sessions, you normally go to a local
and
hall.
go, everybody come here.
Instead, we had to move those online. But in a way, I think having online consultation made it much more convenient for more people to join in at times that it suited them. And if they couldn't be there, they could then watch it on YouTube instead.
Yeah, you can watch it again. Do you know, it's interesting you say that. I think we've seen that with quite a lot of consultations, meetings and such that people are doing. If you hold them online, you're far more likely to have a member of the general public turn up at, for 7 p.m. than you are if you're asking them to come out, leave home, miss EastEnders, get down the village hall. So we're just talking about the stakeholder engagement that you've got going on with all the local residents group, because you've got estates on either side of this project, and clearly it's a beautiful place that people use. We've seen people walking dogs around here today. It's clearly a well-used piece. And Liz, you were just telling me about the subgroups that you've got going on there.
Yeah, but we're working very closely with the environment subgroup and access and recreation subgroup. We meet regularly with them. We brief them on developments, engage with them, ask their ideas, feedback. They do look at documents for information, and sometimes they're able to comment. We do the "you said, we did" and feedback, because some of the ideas they come up with, as Rory's been saying about this sort of sapling rescue. It's not an idea. The whole concept that we're actually implementing on site. They come up with some great ideas, and so I think most recently we've been walking around the site with them, and we were looking at locations where we could relocate soil, and that's soil derived from ancient woodlands. So,
oh wow!
So we're translocating soil on site, and those sapling rescue. Those saplings that we're rescuing on site, we're actually going to be translocating, moving those saplings into those areas as well.
That's amazing. So they won't even know the difference in the soil that they're in.
You're right. It also helps us to preserve the genetic history of the ancient woodland that was here.
I suppose, there's got to be hundreds of years of stuff. There's probably a very technical name for that, isn't there? There's not stuff.
Ancient woodlands over 400 years old, and so it has this legacy of not just the soil and the mycelium inside them, but also the flora in the soil. So I was thinking there's an area down the southwest corner next to Lee Park where we've translocated some of this soil, and it would take a while for the saplings that we've rescued to establish. But I'm pretty sure that we'll get bluebells in there soon, because that's almost the first sort of flush
thing that comes.
When you see woodland clearance, that's what comes through, isn't it?
Yeah,
and that's very much a sign of ancient woodland as well.
That's so exciting.
It is. It's a great opportunity.
You could be one of those Instagram accounts now with those swathes of bluebell fields going everywhere.
Well, we do have quite a few people on our team who are really keen photographers and drone flyers as well. So I think we're going to get a really good bank of pictures and videos as we go through the project.
I love that, especially having somebody fly a drone over it. That would be brilliant. Look at this.
I suppose the other thing with the access and recreation strategy that's been produced, and we've produced that in conjunction with the community, but also Portsmouth Water is working very closely with Forestry England, who own the land at Havant Thicket, and also Hampshire County Council. There's a sort of tripartite group, and that, as a result, the recreation strategy is ensuring connectivity around the site to the adjacent areas, but also way beyond that as well. So it means that the Shipwrights Way, which is a very long distance footpath, comes down into Rowland's Castle and to the corner of the site here, and it means that there's that connectivity to the wider areas.
Oh, so it's easy to get in and out of for residents, and further afield for people who want to go on a really long distance walk.
Exactly.
The human body is roughly 60% water. This podcast is 100.
So doing a reservoir from scratch is not a quick thing, right? When was the idea first brought up to build a new reservoir here?
Oh gosh, so Portsmouth Water have actually owned the land since the 1960s, and I think the idea of building a reservoir here has always been there. But they just couldn't justify it at the time. There wasn't the need for the water. It's only in the last few years when when water companies have been asked to take less water from chalk streams in Hampshire, that Portsmouth Water could put forward the idea and prove that there was the need for the Havant Thicket Reservoir.
Wow, so we're overlooking a big old field now, fields. So where would the reservoir be? Are we standing in it yet?
We're not standing in it yet, no. So if we look that way, towards that big mound of earth and all the diggers, the reservoir is going to be in that direction. But pretty much everything that you can see that doesn't have a tree on it is going to be where the reservoir will be.
Right, so it's pretty big. And I was reading it was 5 kilometres all the way around, is that right?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, so it's about a mile by a mile.
So that's ready-made for a park run.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's exactly right. 5 kilometres.
Park run.
Yeah.
That's my gift to you. There we are. A new way of engaging with the community. I would love to come and do a park run here. Actually.
It could be a lovely place for a park run.
It would be really good.
Yeah.
And given that you've got a cafe.
And a nice circle. Better. Yeah. And actually, so if you look in that sort of corner over there, that's where the visitor centre will be, in that corner over there. And there'll be footpaths and cycle paths and bridleways going all the way around the reservoir. And actually down in that sort of southern corner, we've got Staunton Country Park, which is a lovely sort of country park which is owned by Hampshire County Council. And we're working with them as well because we thought it would be great to connect the two together so people can use both, so they can go for a walk around Staunton Country Park and get into where the reservoir is and vice versa.
And that just makes so much sense.
It does, doesn't it? Exactly.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because transform ourselves to, hold on, when's it due to finish?
Oh, it's due to be filled and operational by 2029.
Right, so 6 years' time?
Pretty
if
much.
My maths is correct.
Pretty much, yeah. We've allowed 3 years to fill it up with water.
Wow,
so it's
3 years.
Yeah.
Imagine if your bathtubs.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it'll be. It'll be like a giant bathtub, being filled up from 2027.
So will the in 2027 will people be able to use the paths and things like that though? Or is it the big reveal once it's full? Ta-da!
You know what? I think that's still being decided. So we're putting together it sounds very technical, a recreational strategy.
Yeah.
And we've got one for during construction, and then we'll have one when the reservoir is finished. So the one for during construction is for people to still be able to use the site and use the paths around the site while the reservoir is being built and filled with water, and then we'll have the one when it's finished. So we really will be encouraging people to walk around the site from the word go, from while the work is happening, so they can really see what's happening and get a good view of the work.
Yeah, well, there's stuff happening now in the distance, and we can still walk and access it, so that's really good. May's yawning, which we get that reaction a lot. But it's interesting that we're looking at, let's be honest, some quite dull fields. I mean, there's not much here, is there, at the moment?
There isn't, and especially from this side. But as you can see right at the top of the hill there, so we've got our site compound over there.
Yeah.
So that's where the contractor is based. And then a little bit further down the hill, you've got a sort of earth mound, and that's our trial embankment. So it's like a small model of how the final embankment will look. And it's made of different types of clay, and our contractor is monitoring the clay and how it works and how it all holds together, so that when they go ahead and build the actual reservoir embankment, they know exactly which clays and the order of it that they're going to do.
Not the sort of thing you want to get wrong.
It's not, no, but we're very lucky that we've got some very, very skilled and experienced people working on the project, so this is right in their area of expertise.
But yeah, I mean, we're looking across these fields. As I said, there was not much there, so it does feel like, but there's a point of transformation, that we're looking at something that isn't that interesting. I can't imagine people want to come here. It's not exactly a destination, is it? But once there's a reservoir here with recreational facilities and all sorts of things and wildlife, it'll be a great place to come to.
It will. I think it will really add something very special actually to the local area, especially as we are, you wouldn't know it from where we're standing here, but we're very close to quite a densely populated area. There's lots of houses just over there. There's a big estate, and then we've got more houses in that direction. And I think giving the community somewhere where they can come out and go for a walk, get outside, see some nature in a really accessible way is so important. And I think that's a big part of the success of the project, and why it's not had a huge amount of opposition is that it is offering all these really lovely benefits to Havant and to the local area.
That's a good point, because you can't tell by looking that actually there's loads of people living really nearby.
Absolutely loads. Yeah. So we are right on the edge of Lee Park, which is a housing estate. We've got Havant, Bedhampton, and then obviously Portsmouth slightly further afield. So yeah, it's a busy area.
Well, I'm really glad we formed a splinter group, because I think our group's having more fun than that group. But we'll let the listeners tell who had the most fun.
Enjoying the show? Please consider leaving a 5-star rating on iTunes and Spotify.
This is an environmentally led project, and our environmental compensation strategy, because this is a 160 hectare site, means that actually the project's going to deliver a net gain to wildlife habitats. And we do that both by planting trees and woodlands and wood pasture here on site, but also working off-site in neighbouring areas. So we're going to be bringing Southley Forest into sustainable management. We're working with Forestry England to start taking down some of those evergreen trees and replace them with broadleaf trees. And we're also doing a rewilding project. Now, I'm really excited about rewilding because I listened to the Archers.
I was going to say they had rewilding on the Archers.
So I've been listening to rewilding on the Archers for years.
That's the thing.
And finally we're getting one of our own. So we're going to work with a local farm owner to create 80 hectares of new woodland and wood pasture on an area that's previously been used as farmland. And so by doing this work, we're going to sort of knit together this mosaic of integrated habitats in the area and improve biodiversity for the whole area as well.
So Havant Thicket, the actual woodland itself, is absolutely covered by the CRO Act, which is the Countryside Rights of Way Act.
Oh!
So it has open access right across it. It's probably like an advert now, isn't it? But, and that's the thing, is actually there are tracks and footpaths, and what we're standing on at the moment is a trail, a path, which is for this would be for walkers and cyclists, and to some extent it shouldn't be for horses, although I've seen some horse hooves up there. Havant Thicket has like bylaws and agreements, and they let equestrians go in, horse riders go in.
So
and use it as
beyond just that equestrian path.
So what we've had to do as a recreation strategy, we've had to identify trails during construction for all the different users.
Because under that CRO Act, I guess you can't at any point say.
Well, you can actually. You can say no, but you can't go here. We're going to,
because we've got construction happening.
Or Forestry England have forestry operations. That won't apply. The open access won't apply to this site here. But obviously we'll have footpaths and accesses around open grassland. And so, in theory, it's an open site anyway. And of course, there'll be a management of grazing to manage the species-rich grassland around it. But I think it's quite an important point that at the moment there's already open access into the Havant Thicket, but also the country park.
All across where we just were, just as plain, and
Staunton Country Park is all open as well. So it's really providing a wonderful resource for people locally to use the countryside.
This podcast is brought to you by CCW, the voice for water consumers.
So we've come to the right round to the other side of the reservoir, and we're standing next to some heavy plant, which are big trucks for most people, but heavy plant apparently is what we're going to call it, which is pretty impressive, but also gives you an idea of just the amount of work that is going to be done on this site, and the view we've got just gives you that scale. It's a huge site, it's impressive, even though it's a construction site.
And it's also so beautiful because we're surrounded by woodlands as well. We've got Havant Thicket on the one side, and we've got the other forests around us, and the community just nestled on the far side. The thing that's really exciting about this project is it's not just a major reservoir construction project. It's also about creating a green sort of hub of activities and places for the community to enjoy in the years to come.
You're quite right, though. There's almost a full 360 of trees when you look.
Yeah.
And when you stand on that, you can visualise a reservoir being here. It kind of fits, doesn't it? It sits nicely in the landscape, I think. Probably nicely is probably the wrong word, but I
think nicely is right. I mean,
right,
standing right here, you do get the idea of the topography works as well. There is a bowl, a natural bowl here.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a relief.
yeah. Make sure you're building it a bit easier.
Terrible shame if it was a big hill.
What's been really key is, of course, there's a very large embankment going along the sort of southern edge next to Staunton Country Park. But as part of that, there's going to be a viewpoint that links up to the one of the key viewpoints in Staunton Country Park. So people are going to be able to walk down from there and then walk up onto the embankment and have that vista.
And get a vista of this reservoir
and
with all these trees and...
Yes.
And like we were saying with the wetlands, you're going to see all these different animals across it. It's going to be a really... Well, I want to come back and see it, that's for certain. I'm excited to see how this looks in 2028.
I look forward to you coming back for that. What series will you be on by then?
We'll be on
we'll be on series 14 of Waterfall by then. Yeah, and if it's not been picked up by Radio 4 by then, we'll be very disappointed.
I think the Archers will be talking about you.
That's what it'll be. The next, they won't be rewilding on the Archers and us talking about them. It'll be them talking about us.
but look, mate, I know you weren't planning on speaking, but thank you so much, and good luck in whatever you do next.
Thank you.
And would you think about joining the water sector?
Not sure, maybe.
Oh, like that. Oh, what a glowing endorsement.
Keep your options open.
yeah. So that play your cards close to your chest. Eleanor, thank you so much for telling us about the reservoir. It's been really enlightening, particularly the stuff on the community aspects, because actually it's good to hear how positive the vibe is about this new reservoir. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's no problem, and it'd be great to have you back as the project progresses to see what's happening.
Yeah,
it's going to be really cool to watch. So yeah, thank you for coming.
No, brilliant. Thank you, guys. But look, thank you both, Liz and Rory. It's been so great hearing not just about the reservoir, but actually both of you have come across so passionately that you really care about this project, which is it's actually, that is really lovely as well. This isn't just a job for you guys, is it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Environmentally led is not just a buzzword. It's something we care deeply about at Portsmouth Water. We care deeply about the environment and about our community, and we want to make sure that people are involved so we can make it the best that we can.
Best for the opportunities, best environmental outcomes possible.
Well, thank you both very much. And as Cath said, and I've said about 50 times now on this, we're going to come back and see it when it's done. I want to come and do that park run.
You might be sick of us. Like, why are they here again?
There'll be some restraining orders there.
Don't let them on site.
You're welcome anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you both so much. It's genuinely been fascinating.
What would you like Waterfall to cover next? Send your water-saving topics to podcast@ccwater.org.uk.
So that was great. We're back in we're in the car.
We're in the car.
Yeah, in the compound where all the big diggers are. I mean, that was great.
It was genuinely really informative and just lovely, actually.
So, Cath, I mean, you didn't mention whether you wanted to come back or not in the future.
No, I think I forgot to say that, and I should have tried to be a little more forthcoming. Yeah, like, seriously, I'll be back here too much, I think. It sounds amazing.
No, it will be fascinating to see when it's finished. And it seems like a project being done in the right way, which is great, and really involving the community, meeting a challenge of future water resources, but also providing a facility that is great for the locals. And what struck me is just driving into this compound, we're right next to a big estate.
Yep.
And you just turn a corner and suddenly there's going to be this fantastic new reservoir there. And that's going to be brilliant for the people who live locally.
And I think that really came across from Eleanor, from May, from Rory, from Liz. This isn't just a civil engineering project. This isn't just the council working with the water company and the forestry commission to, fill up a hole, as you say.
It's not just about bats either.
It's not just about bats or dormice. But it genuinely is being done. It is a civil engineering project. It's a huge piece of infrastructure.
It definitely is, because I'm looking at some massive diggers.
Yeah, they're really big. The tyres are taller than us. But it's so important that it, as you say, being done in the right way. And I think what this project really shows is that obviously we want nature-based solutions, but it's also possible to have a civil engineering solution that does good for the environment. It isn't just destructive, and it's changing it, absolutely, but it's fulfilling a need, and it's, this will be pleasant to live by, which I don't think comes across in all civil engineering.
So you can find solutions that are good for people and good for nature.
Yeah.
So we will stick a load of stuff in the show notes. We'll stick some of our pictures on our Instagram feed, which is Waterfall Podcast. We'll also put some links to the fly-through that Portsmouth Water have of the reservoir. Yep. So you can find out more for yourselves. We're running out of time though. Finally, don't forget, you can get in touch. We have an email address.
We do have an email address. Talk to us. It's podcast@ccwater.org.uk.
Well, Cath, it's been brilliant you joining us for this episode. Hope you enjoyed yourself. You seem to be having a whale of a time.
Yeah, I might not come back to Birmingham now. Thanks, bye.
But thank you. And thanks for listening. So it's goodbye from me, Mike.
Goodbye from me, Cath.